Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing an Umi Kairyu-Shin deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an amazing control deck that can easily summon out its boss monster, Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin, to control the board. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. This card is definitely a 3-of in the deck and an amazing boss monster that has the ability while Umi is on the field, each player can only control 1 face-up non-water monster, and if any player controls 2 or more, they must send some to the graveyard so they only control 1, which is an insane effect to be able to control the board, so your opponent is basically only going to be able to control 1 monster if they're not playing water. This card also has the ability during your main phase, you can add from your deck to your hand an Umi Kairyu-Shin spell or trap or a Sea Stealth spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is an awesome effect to instantly grab the exact card that you need from your deck to your hand to help you control the board. We then play 3 copies of Warrior of Atlantis. Warrior of Atlantis is an amazing 3-of in the deck. This card has the ability that you can actually discard this card to the graveyard to add a legendary ocean from your deck to your hand, which is an amazing ability to instantly get to a legendary ocean. So you can basically activate it, reduce the level of your water monsters by 1, so you can basically normal summon out your copy of Kairyu-Shin because it will be a level 4 monster when your copy of a legendary ocean is on the field. We then play 3 copies of Electric Jellyfish. Electric Jellyfish is an amazing walking negate for the deck that has the ability to can send a copy of Umi from your hand deck or face from your field to the graveyard to special summon a water monster from your hand, which is an awesome effect to instantly bring out our copy of Kairyu-Shin, as if you open up your copy of Electric Jellyfish and your copy of Kairyu-Shin, you can basically normal summon out your copy of Electric Jellyfish, send a legendary ocean from your deck to the graveyard, and then special summon out your copy of Kairyu-Shin, then use Kairyu-Shin's effect to instantly grab Sea Stealth Attack, and then Sea Stealth Attack will actually let you activate your copy of a Legendary Ocean directly from the graveyard, which is an awesome effect to instantly put your copy of a Legendary Ocean on your side of the field. This card also is really good in the deck because when this card, or when your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell effect, while you have a copy of Umi on the field, quick effect, you can actually negate that effect, then you can make this card gain 600 attack and defense permanently, which is an awesome effect for this card to have. We then play a single copy of Mega Fortress Whale. Mega Fortress Whale is really cool as a 1-of in the deck to be able to summon off your copy of Sea Stealth 2, but it's really cool to be able to play in this deck because if Umi is on the field, you can activate this effect that your water monsters can attack directly during the battle phase, which is an awesome effect to just help you go in for game. And also during your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it, which is such a cool ability to be able to use this card. We then play 3 copies of Surfacing Big Jaws. This card is an amazing card that we just got out of Rage of the Abyss, but it works so well in this deck to be able to play a small shark engine in this build. This card is the ability, if this card is used for the XZ summon of a water monster, it can be treated as a level 3, 4, or 5. Also, during your main phase, if a spell card was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand so it doesn't even use your normal summon, which is absolutely amazing, especially with the amount of spells we play in this deck. And this card also has the effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a fish shark monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect because we're always going to be searching at our copy of Abyss Shark off this card's effect. Abyss Shark is really cool because your copy of Abyss Shark can actually search Surfacing Big Jaws, and Surfacing Big Jaws can actually search Abyss Shark, meaning it's super consistent to be able to play these cards as an engine. But your copy of Abyss Shark has the ability, if this card is going to be used for XZ summon of a number monster, it can be treated as a level 3, 4, or 5, which is a really cool ability, and if all monsters you control are water monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a really cool effect to help you going for the exact play that you need, but it's a really good card in the deck overall to be able to bring out to your side of the field. This card also has the ability, if you do special summon out this card, it has the ability to let you add a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand, which is your copy of Surfacing Big Jaws, which is awesome to instantly be able to search both of them off of each other, which is so cool. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Calm of the Grave is really good as a 1-of in the deck to basically just use this card to stop your opponent's hand traps while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Unveiling Mail. Unveiling Mail is great in the deck as a 1-of to basically just use this card because it's searchable off your copy of Xyz Fortress, and it's just really good to be able to play in the deck because this card has the effect that it's always treated as an armor Xyz card, and an Xyz monster equipped with this card gains these effects that it cannot be destroyed by battle, and also once per turn, if this card battles this turn, quick effect, you can immediately activate the effect that you can return one card equipped to this card back to the hand. Then after this card resolves, you get to basically Xyz summon a water Xyz monster, which is a really cool effect to be able to use. And I love that about this card. It's a really cool card to basically use this card as protection for your monsters, and it's a really awesome card in the deck to be able to search off your Armored Xyz package. We then play a single copy of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is really good in the deck as a 1-of to basically just help us dig into the deck for the exact card that we need. We play 2 copies of Sea Stealth 2. Sea Stealth 2 is amazing in this build as a 2 because this card also counts as a copy of Umi while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Also has the ability that your opponent cannot target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects, and at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon from your hand or your graveyard a monster that mentions Umi or a water null monster in defense position, but destroy it during the end of the battle phase, which is a great effect to be able to bring out our copy of the Whale to our side of the field, or a copy of Kairyu-Shin, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Fish Sonar. Fish Sonar is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is basically the rota for the deck, letting us add a level 7 or lower monster from our deck to our hand that mentions Umi or a water null monster, which is a great effect to instantly grab a copy of Kairyu-Shin from our deck to our hand off this card's effect or the exact card that we need. We then play 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Goods is good. This card is amazing in the deck because it helps us send our copy of Ice Barrier from our deck to the graveyard, basically being 3 more copies of Rhoda for the deck, because your copy of Ice Barrier will help you search out your copy of Kairyu-Shin directly from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of a Legendary Ocean. The entire deck is basically based around this card and our copy of Kairyu-Shin. This card has a great effect that this card is always treated as Umi, and all water monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense, and you reduce the level of all water monsters in both players' hands and on the field by 1. Which is a really cool effect to be able to use with our copy of Kairyu-Shin because it will reduce it to a level 4 so we can instantly normal summon it from our hand, which is a really cool ability. We then play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Forbidden Droplets is so powerful in this deck. It's basically just turn your opponent's field off and half the attack and defense, or half the attack of your opponent's monster, so you can basically just swing in for game. And I love that about this card, that it's just really good to be able to half the attack of your opponent's monsters and negate their effects and turn their entire field off so we can basically go in for game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Kairyu-Shin's Dark Reef. Kairyu-Shin's Dark Reef is really good as a 1-of, just to help you special summon a bunch of monsters out to your side of the field, as this card lets you send a face-up Umi you control to the graveyard to special summon up to 2 monsters that with different names from your hand or deck that actually mention Umi or water null monsters in defense position, which is a really cool effect just to help you swarm the board with your monsters. It makes it super easy to bring out your copy of Kairyu-Shin just in case you need to use this card to bring it out, and it's just a really good 1-of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Full Armored Xyz. Full Armored Xyz is really good because this card helps us bring out the exact full armor monster we want from our X deck and just basically help us make our copy of Dark Knight Lancer. We then play a single copy of Gozen Match since pretty much we only play we basically only play water in the entire deck. It was just basically going to lock down our opponent with the exception of 1 or 2 monsters in the X deck with our copy of Zeus and Typhon. And this card is just really good overall in the deck to basically lock down your opponent because we only play water in this build and each player can only control 1 attribute of monster, and you send all their face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. So this card is very important in the deck to basically lock down your opponent alongside your copy of Kairyu-Shin. We then play 2 copies of Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier is amazing in this deck as a 2-of to be able to send to the graveyard off of Foolish Burial Goods. As this card is revealed, you can manage this card in the graveyard to send a level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you get to add a water monster in your graveyard to your hand, basically being a long way around of being able to use this card as a rota to be able to grab your copy of Kairyu-Shin directly from your deck to your hand. And also this card is great as a battle trap, as when an attack is declared involving your opponent's monster, you can change an opponent's monster attack point to 0 and negate its effects. Also, it cannot change its battle position, which is a really cool ability to be able to use with this card. And also play 2 copies of Sea Stealth Attack. Sea Stealth Attack is great as a 2-of in the build because when this card is activated, you can activate a copy of Umi from your hand or your graveyard, and also while Umi's on the field, this face-up card gains these effects. Then once per turn, you can actually banish a water monster that you control until the end phase of this turn, and face-up spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field, or at the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose original level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, destroy that opponent's monster, which is a great effect just to help you protect your copy of Kairyu-Shin. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark is really good in this deck as a 2-of, basically just to help us bring out our copy of Totally Awesome. We then play 2 copies of Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome is awesome in this deck. Basically just use this card as a walking negate in the deck, and we just make this card off our copy of Bahamut Shark, but it's so easy to bring out in this deck with our copy of Bahamut Shark, I feel like 2 is the correct number. We then play a single copy of number 4 Stealth Krajan. Krajan's really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to make, because it is a number monster, so it's very easy to make in this build. It makes it so all face-up monsters on the field become water, and once per turn during the main phase, you can quick effect, destroy a water monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack that monster had on the field, which is a great effect to do burn damage and pop a monster on the field. The only downside of this card is it kind of works against your copy of Kairyu-Shin because it'll make everything water, and your opponent with your copy of Kairyu-Shin on the field can only control 1 non-water monster on the field, but since this is making water on the field, you basically kind of don't want to put them both on the field at the same time, so watch out for that as you're playing the deck. We then play a single copy of Stealth Krajan Spawn. Stealth Krajan Spawn is great to summon off your copy of number 4, which is just a really powerful effect to be able to use with your copy of number 4 to basically just get this card out on your side of the field, but you only need a single copy of it for the copy of Stealth Krajan's effect. And play a single copy of Silent Honor Arc. Silent Honor Arc is really cool to basically just gobble up your opponent's monsters, and it's just a great card overall in the deck. We play a single copy of Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is amazing in this build as 1-of, basically just lock down the graveyard. We then play a single copy of number 47 Nightmare Shark. This card is amazing in the deck to basically help you swing in for game, as this card can actually attack directly, which is a really cool ability just to help you go in for game and swing in for those 2,000 points of damage, and then during the main phase 2, if you need to, go in for a copy of Zeus. We then play a single copy of XZ Armor Torpedo. Torpedo is really good in decks. You can basically detach 2 materials in this card to draw a card. We play a single copy of our XZ Armor Fortress. Fortress is great because you can detach materials from this card and then add an equal number of XZ Armor cards from your deck to your hand, which is going to be your copy of Unveiling Armor and your copy of your Armor XZ Trap card. So it's really good to be able to play in the deck to be able to search out both those cards from your deck to your hand. We play a single copy of Full Armor Crystal Zero Lancer. This card is a stepping stone for your copy of your Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer, but it's really cool in the deck as a 1-of because you can overlay it on top of one of your level 5 XZ monsters, which is a really cool rank 5 XZ monster, which is really cool. You can play a single copy of Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer. This card is an awesome boss monster that's super easy to make in the deck. As all you have to do is make your copy of Torpedo, then overlay your copy of Fortress on top of Torpedo, use this effect to get all of its XZ materials out from under it, and then once you do, you basically use it to make your copy of your Full Armored Crystal Zero, and then you basically go into this card with the Armored XZ Trap card. And this card is really cool because you can basically equip your opponent's cards to it, which is really a good effect, and it gets absolutely massive in this deck, and you can really back this card up a lot with your Armored XZ cards in the deck. And then finally play a single copy of Zeus, just in case we need to board wipe the field, and a single copy of Typhon. These cards are great in the deck. The only thing you have to watch out for is Gozen Match in this deck and your copy of your Kairyu-Shin, but it does let you control 1 monster that's non-water, which is really cool about this deck because you can easily make either Zeus or Typhon, which is the only monsters that are not water in the entire deck, because these cards are absolutely amazing, especially for an XZ deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played an Umi Kairyu-Shin deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super fun to be able to play. It's very easy to control the board, and it's amazing how easy it is to summon out your copy of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin to control the board. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell and there's income part notification squad. If you guys would like, check out combos for this deck. I do have combos on the channel for this build, which is really, really cool for this deck. It's amazing. And it's 3 combos that you need to know to play this deck. So definitely check those out if you want to learn to play this deck as well. So that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell and there's income part notification squad. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.